Welcome in. We're going part two. It's kind of just going to be split right into the middle. I'm just going to splice it in wherever I think that it's needed to fit, but I'm probably not going to talk much about who was before or after this part two pick. It's basically just going to be broken, and I'm going to insert this clip into it. Um, if you liked part one, comment down below what you think is going to happen in part two. Who is going to go where do you think the rookies are going to go? If not, thanks for tuning in to part two. I really appreciate it. And let's get into the video. Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's close. These four guys to me, they all have their own flavor of wide receiver, but they all are so close in like how they end up showing up in the stat book. Like when Malik Neighbors is healthy, he can go for like 250. But I feel like you could say that about any of these guys. Like these four wide receivers could all go for 250 in a game. They just do it in different ways, which is why I like all all four of them. Luther Burden. I'm gonna put him here in the same area as like we saw it at the end of the season where he really started to kind of pop off and explode with Caleb. They started getting on like a true linked, you know, they got on the same page. And so I think if that continues, he could truly jump up all the way to the top of this wide receiver 1 and 2 list and kind of put Rome Odunze in that big, maybe closer to Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman combo guy. That's still a 1 to 2. Rashid Shaheed, great deep ball guy. Romeo Dobbs, to me, is a wide receiver 2, but we'll see what he does in New England if AJ Brown does not go there, which he pretty much is. But who knows? Maybe both of those guys together just can get open, and their passing offense. Drake May wins MVP next year. Put some money on it, I guess. Tank Dell still in the league. Yeah, I mean that knee injury was brutal. We really don't know how he's going to come back from it. Troy Franklin, he's a deep ball guy as of right now. Same with Xavier Worthy. As much as it pains me, Calvin Ridley is still in the league. He was supposed to be their wide receiver 1, and he's just done nothing for the Titans. Christian Kirk, same. I actually like Darius Slayton. I don't know why, but I think he's just got this like ability to out of nowhere pop off for a great fantasy day, and like you spot start him and it's just like, oh, I started him, let's go. And then you fall into the trap of like potentially starting him for the rest of the season when you need it, and it's probably not a great idea. Hollywood Brown. Yeah, he's right there. Drake London is up here. These three are in their own tier within this group for me. Then it goes, these guys, AJ Brown kind of by himself should be up here, but he's been held back. These four and then these three. Like that is how I see the breakdown, and maybe that's the fantasy player coming out of. That's Pat Bryant, right? Yeah, okay. Wide receiver 3. Wide receiver 3, Trey Tucker. Uh, Matthew Golden, wide receiver 3. Great first round pick, Green Bay. Great first round pick. Pop Smoke, Pop Dougie, wide receiver 3. I believe this is Chimere DK or Alec Ayomenor. I don't know. Both of them to me are wide receiver 3s, so we're going to put both of them in there. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver 2 to me. I think he's extremely underrated. He was a great wide receiver 2 for the Bears, for the Falcons when he was healthy, and I think he's going to do the same for the Giants next to Malik Neighbors. I actually really like that pickup for them. Jalen Naylor, wide receiver 3. He's going to be the wide receiver 3 for the Eagles. or for the, well, I guess he was on the Eagles. He's going to be the wide receiver 3 for the Raiders, but he's probably not. He's going to end up being a wide receiver 1. Jalen Noel, I don't really know how to feel about him. I think he's probably more like a wide receiver 3. Kendrick Bourne, wide receiver 3, can have a pop off game. Same with Mac Hollins. Devontae Smith, wide receiver 1 to 2. But I bet if A.J. Brown leaves, you're going to see peak prime Alabama wide receiver, won the Heisman, won the Biletnikoff, Devontae Smith. Count it now, as long as Jalen Hurts gets his head out of his butt. Brothers back there. Rashad Bateman is a wide receiver 3 to me. I had high hopes coming out of college for him, and he just hasn't done anything with it. Calvin Austin, wide receiver 3, slot guy. Demarcus Robinson, same thing. Dontavion Wicks, same thing. Him and Matthew Golden. All those wide receiver 1s for the Green Bay Packers. Whoop, whoop. Oof. Troy Palmer? That's not his name. Palmer. Can't think of his first name. Still in the league? Josh Palmer. Thanks, brother! Turpin, wide receiver 3. Good deep ball guy. Good, help Brandon Cooks. Hunk's still in the league? No, he's good wide receiver 3. Like, he's proven that he can still help out. A.D. Mitchell, wide receiver 3, but I think he's trending up. I think in that Jets offense, like right next to Garrett Wilson, Sadiq, Omar Cooper, wide receiver 3, maybe 2, depending on how they utilize guys. Jalen Coker, I think, is a true wide receiver 2. I think Tet, Coker. I think that is Noah Brown, but I'm not sure. Mike Evans, my goat. No, not my goat. 1,000-yard streak, unfortunately came to an end. Wish it could have stayed. That would have been so cool. I think he's going to have a great, great chance of having a comeback season with the 49ers. I think that Shanahan has such an ability to scheme open wide receivers, and with how good Mike Evans' hands are and how good of a jump ball receiver he is, and with having Christian McCaffrey on the underneath stuff, it's kind of a really good pairing. So I really like that. I really like the Mike Evans fit in the San Fran. I think that's Khalif Raymond. Keon Coleman, as much as I want him to be good, I don't think he's ever going to do it. I just think he's too unlocked. Horton, wide receiver 3 backup. Tutu Atwell. As much as I want to put him up in wide receiver 2, he's wide receiver 3. Same with, I think that's Dante Thornton, or maybe that's the Vegas guy is Dante Thornton, and that's, I can't remember. It's Thornton and Thornton. I get them mixed up. They're both wide receiver 3s to me. I think that's Cedric Tillman. He is a wide receiver 3. Devon Vele still is a wide receiver 3. Jahan Dotson, I still have hope for. I think he can be a wide receiver 2 in the right situation. Ooh. Is that Duvernay? Devin Duvernay. I mean, here's the thing. He's got his role in special teams. He's a great return man, but I think he's just done, kind of. Devontae Adams, I think, still has got it, and I think he's still a wide receiver 1. He's just next to Puka, who's elite. And so I like this placement because he's kind of taken a step back. I could easily see him, jumping almost all these guys if Puka were to get hurt and he was the true wide receiver 1 on that team. But he's still wide receiver 1 to me. I would take Adams over, most of the guys in this wide receiver 1 to 2 list, if not all of them. Jalen McMillan he's a good wide receiver 3. Oh, who is this? You know, I have pretty good ball knowledge, but brother and I could not figure out who that is. Let me look this up real quick. Dolphins. Why? Dolphins wide receiver depth chart. That might be Jalen Tolbert, Taj Washington, Kevin Coleman. It's one of those guys. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure who that is. It could be any of Coleman, Tolbert. Actually, you know what? I think that's Jalen Tolbert. Now that I'm seeing. Yeah, the one that we couldn't figure out, right? Yeah, me and brother couldn't. It's Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Lane, wide receiver 3, I think is pretty good. Xavier Ligue, wide receiver 3 backup. His hands are just not good, man. Andre Yoshivas, I think can be a wide receiver 2. Like, because Higgins and Jamar are so good, he gets relinquished to that 3 role, but I think he's really good. Tesla, I think, can also be a wide receiver 2 if it wasn't for JMO and Amon-Ra. I think Tesla can do what JMO does, just different. I think Tesla is more of the maybe not burn by you, but he's going to go up and catch the ball over you, and he's a great blocker, whereas JMO's like, I'm going to run by you. I'm surprised not to see Tyreek Hill on this list. I do think he's going to play again this year. Um, I think that's Malik Washington. I think he is a wide receiver 3. And then JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Whew. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to rank it. Um, yeah, I mean, that's tough. These 5 guys are so good, and AJ Brown is like right there. But this is how I have my top, I guess, 5, 10, 14 guys. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put any of these wide receiver 1 to 2s up there. Maybe George Pickens, but I truly think that these 14 guys are like the best wide receivers in the NFL currently. We're gonna get into rookies now. Jordan Tyson, I think him and Olave together is such a good combo. The only problem is they're both kind of injury prone. And that really is going to be tough if they both get injured. Their wide receiver core is going to be so bad so fast. But I think Tyson legitimately could be up here after like a year or 2. Next, we're going to go with Carnell Tate. I think he's a wide receiver 1 to 2 as well. I think he's going to play exceptionally well. I think he's going to have an insane amount of yards with Cam Ward this upcoming season. Their wide receivers just struggled so much with how well Cam Ward did on the unstructured after the routes broke down and stuff like that. They just wouldn't catch the ball. They wouldn't come back to the routes. They wouldn't try to, make up for Cam kind of running around. I think Carnell Tate can do all that, and he's a great deep ball guy. Next up, we are going to go with Makai Lemon, who I think for right now, with the situation that he got drafted into with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, as long as AJ Brown's still there, he's a wide receiver 2 for me. I love Makai Lemon. I think in a year or 2 he's going to be a wide receiver 1, like up here. But for this upcoming season, I don't see him doing that. Just with how little the Eagles throw the ball, I don't know. A lot of his routes are over the middle routes. He's a great yak threat. which Jalen Hurts just didn't do at all last year, and it could be the offensive coordination. It really could be. Denzel Boston, I like as a wide receiver 1 to 2. I think that him, whatever that Browns offense ends up being, his deep ball ability could be really beneficial, but I don't really know how any of those quarterbacks are going to do. Who knows? Maybe they just throw Taylor Green out there and say, screw it. Casey Concepcion, to me, is a wide receiver 2. I think he's super explosive. I think he can easily climb up into this wide receiver 1-2 category. But to me, him and Lemon just don't. You know what? Actually, both of these guys are in the 1 to 2 category. Like they could be wide receiver ones in different situations, which is kind of like the point of this category. Oh man, now we're getting to names like faces I don't know, which is tough. I know this is Omar Cooper. I think he is a 1 to 2. And the only reason he's not a true one is because he got drafted into the Jets and they also have Garrett Wilson. So I want to say that, yeah, okay. Jalen or Jacoby Lane to me is a wide receiver 2. He is a TikTok route artist. He dances on all of his routes, but he's got insane hands and he's 6'4". I don't think he has any yak ability at the moment, and I don't think his route tree is really all that developed. But man, you give him a jump ball in the end zone, he's probably coming down with it. Stribling, I mean, right now I think he's a 3. Maybe that's just because of situation, but who are these two guys? I feel bad that I'm forgetting who they are. Anyway, man, I gotta look at these guys' faces because I'm blanking on like what these rookies look like. So I got Tyson, Lemon, Concepcion, Cooper, Stribling, Boston, Bernard. He's kind of cockeyed, right? There he is, Jeremy Bernard. To me, right now, Bernard is a 3, especially with Metcalf and Pittman. I don't see his path to being anything more than a 3 right now. And as much as I like some of the stuff he does, I don't see it. Lance is also in that Saints wide receiver room, and if he can be any bit as productive as he was in college on the deep balls, man, that wide receiver group's looking really scary with Tyson, Olave, and um oh my gosh, I just said his name. Why am I just said his name? Bryce Lance. Wow, that was bad. That was really bad. Okay. Antonio Williams is not even on this list. Okay. So no Antonio Williams. I think I will talk about it real quick. I think he could be a wide receiver 2 in the Washington offense um behind Terry McLaurin if because we don't know where Debo's going, we don't know where Ayuk's going. Both of those guys, Malachi Fields is a big, slow, tall wide receiver. He's a wide receiver 3. Give him a jump ball, he's going to go get it, but it's about all. I don't see him doing much more than that, and especially being kind of a slower guy. Caleb Douglas. I don't actually know much about Caleb Douglas, and he's not on the list. Cool. Okay. He would probably have been a wide receiver 3 for me. I didn't have much of him going on. Zachariah Branch is also not on this list. Man, who is on this list? Come on, City, suck my balls. Anyway, you know what? I think a few of these guys are current NFL wide receivers, and I'm just blanking on like their faces. Let's keep going. I'm pretty sure that's Chris Brazzell down there. All right, we already talked about Jacoby Lane. Chris Brazzell, as much as I think he can be a wide receiver two, right now he's just a wide receiver three with that offense. They don't throw a ton. We'll see what they do, but Jordan Brooks is coming back in the run game. This is the Panthers I'm talking about. So we'll see. I believe Ted Hurst is up next. Yes. I really think he can be a wide receiver too in that offense with the Buccaneers. Yeah, it's going to be really intriguing to see how they basically utilize him in replacement of Mike Evans. Chris Bell, who can be a wide receiver too, and I think definitely will, do something good playing for Miami, but the problem is how long is it going to take him to get back? Brendan Thompson's not on this list. I like him in the Chargers, but I don't know what he's going to be able to do. Elijah Surratt, I think, is a wide receiver three. For now, I think him and Lane basically are a toss up of who's going to be the two in that offense because I think Bateman's kind of getting relegated, like low key. Caden Wedgen, not on the list. Skylar Bell, on the list. Skylar Bell, I like his upside, and I think that him in that offense with like Shakir, I think him, Shakir, and DJ Moore is going to be kind of nice. Okay, so I've gone through all the rookies, and I cannot figure. I think actually this is Noah Brown, wide receiver three backup. I cannot figure out who these guys are. I think this might be like Cedric Tillman or one of those wide receiver threes for the Browns. Like these two guys are both Browns wide receivers, and one of them Cedric Tillman. I don't know the other's name. Both wide receiver threes. This might be Pat Bryant, who I think is also a wide receiver. That's definitely Pat Bryant. I don't know who this is at all, and I feel like I know who this is, but I can't put my finger on it. So we're going down here. Anyway, that is the NFL wide receiver rankings. As many of the guys that are somewhat notable. There's definitely other wide receivers that I know of, like Jade. Oh, dude, is that Jade Walker? That would make me cry. No, that's not Jade Walker. Okay, I was gonna say, yeah. There's plenty of other wide receivers that are not on this list for whoever's favorite team that didn't make it. Whatever. Of the guys on this list, this is my rankings by tiers. Obviously, I wasn't gonna rank all 30. There's probably 50 guys on here. Like this video has been going for feels like an hour and a half. I feel like I've been recording for. Um and so the only guys like we really need to talk about are the rookies and two and up, in my opinion. There's a few rookies down here in the wide receiver three backup area, but that's just based on situation. But I truly think that this top 14 list, and then probably George Pickens or Jalen Waddle or Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, like those guys to me are the guys you could put in that 15th spot, maybe even BTJ if he, ramps back up. But for the top 14, I have Jamar Chase 1, Puka 2, JSN 3. The only reason JSN's not higher is because this is his first year, really exploding. And I want to see if it's a product of offensive scheme or it's truly him. I think he's awesome, but as much as a guy can have all the talent, sometimes the numbers do need to have to back it up, which is why Justin Jefferson's at 4, CeeDee Lamb's at 5. AJ Brown at 6, Collins, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, and Amon Ra are tied for 7. T. Higgins, Drake, London, and Tet are tied for 10, and Devontae Adams is at 14 all alone. But, you know, comment down below what you think. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that, Terry McLaurin's the best wide receiver in the NFL, or Marvin Harrison Jr., or DK Metcalf, Jalen Waddle, whoever, whatever. Say I'm wrong. Tell me why. If you think I'm right, agree, like the video, comment, and subscribe. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This might be a two-parter, but yeah, probably not. No, it probably will be. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, thanks for watching. See you later.